Hi, I am Ruthiik Satt, and this is my Capstone project, a real-time job market data pipeline. I built an end-to-end data engineering system that continuously pulls live job listings from an API, streams through Kafka, stores them in object storage, loads them into relational database, and transforms them into analytics-ready tables. Let's walk through the full thing right now. Okay, this is the architecture. The first thing, the Adzuna API is a free job listing API uh, that fetches 50 job postings every 30 minutes and publishes each one as an event to Kafka topic. Kafka decouples the producer from the consumer, and the consumer reads from Kafka and saves each job as a JSON file to min.io, which is a self-hosted S3 compatible object store. A scheduler then runs every 10 minutes, calling a bridge script that moves files from min.io into PostgreSQL. Once in PostgreSQL, dbt runs the bronze, silver, and gold transformations. Gold tables can then be connected to visualization tools like Tableau, and I'll touch on that slightly later. Before I show the code, I want to talk about two important decisions that shaped the project. First, Python version. This project requires Python 3.12 specifically because Python 3.13 was released recently and breaks Kafka Python library. So if you try to run Python 3.13, you will get import errors immediately. I had to pin 3.12 to keep Kafka working, and here is how that looks. Why 3.12? And this is something you do so you can run this on a virtual environment. Oops. So now we're on the virtual environment and we can check what is the Python version 3.13. As you can see, it is Python 3.12.6. So now that we have confirmed, you need to explicitly use Python 3.12 on Windows when creating the virtual environment, not just Python, because your default might be Python 3.13. Second, the Snowflake to PostgreSQL migration. I originally designed this pipeline with Snowflake as a data warehouse. Snowflake is a cloud data warehouse, and it has dbt as a native Snowflake connector, and Snowflake's variant type handles semi-structured JSON naturally. But midway through the project, the Snowflake free trial expired. Rather than paying, I migrated the entire storage layer to PostgreSQL running inside the Docker. This means three concrete changes. One, um, the Python connector changed from Snowflake connector to Psycop G2. Second, the dbt profile changed from type Snowflake to type Postgres. And number three, the SQL syntax, the raw data double arrow changed to raw data title. These are not compatible, so every field extraction had to be rewritten. But the upside, the entire pipeline is now self-contained and free to run. No cloud accounts needed beyond the Adzuna API. So this is the setup. Let me walk you through the full setup from scratch. First, create and activate the virtual environment with Python 3.12. like here, py 3.12, and this is to activate the virtual environment, and this command you enter to enter the virtual environment. Now since we're in the virtual environment, we're gonna install the dependencies and the requirements that you need to run this project. The requirements files include Kafka, Python, MinIO, scicop2 binary, python.env, uh, requests, and dbt postgres. The dbt postgres packages replace dbt snowflake when we migrated. And next, I have already done this in your .env file. You are supposed to take the API keys from Arduino and paste it in your env file so the data can be extracted accordingly. The only values you need to fill in are the Arduino API ID and the Arduino API key. Everything else has working defaults. For this to work, we need to now start the Docker. And the one command that bring and this is one command that brings up all the Docker files. And for this to work, you need to always have the Docker already on, like so. You don't have to sign in, the Docker just has to be on. Enter the virtual environment and Docker compose f Docker compose dot YAML update. This will now start the Docker, and to verify this we can do Docker ps, and as you can see the Docker is running. So 5 containers, as you can see here, Zookeeper, Kafka, Kafdrop, MinIO, and Postgres. Zookeeper is required by Kafka for cluster coordination. Kafdrop is a web UI for Kafka. MinIO is a object storage. Postgres is our warehouse. PostgreSQL automatically runs the init.sql file on the first setup, which creates the bronze, silver, and gold schemas and the bronze rot job tables. You don't need to run any setup SQL manually. And let me show you how this works. You can go to Kafka, which is here, and this is MinIO. And as you can see, I've run this multiple times, so I have multiple files after testing. The pipeline needs 4 terminals running simultaneously. Let me open them one by one, show exactly what to type in each. So terminal 1 is just Docker, and terminal 2 would be Python, producer producer.py. This starts the producer this starts the producer and the producer connects to Kafka on port 29092 and fetches the Adzuno API. It searches for data engineering and analyst roles, pulls 50 results, publishes each one of them to real-time jobs, then topics, then sleeps 30 minutes and repeats. You'll see the output like fetching data and streaming jobs after this basically. And next one would be Python consumer slash consumer.py. This starts the consumer subscribes to the same real-time job topic. For every Kafka message it receives, it serializes the job to JSON and writes it to min.io at a path like job 2026/04/22.json. You'll see the save files in min.io like this, and then terminal 4 would be a scheduler, which is Python scheduler.py. This moves all the information uh, by the manual bridge every 10 minutes. The bridge lists the JSON files to min.io, reads each one, inserts into bronze.raw jobs as JSON B row, and you'll see this in min.io, as you can see here. These are all the actually no, not this. As you can see, this is all the data that is imported right now into min.io. And the next one would be Python manual bridge.py. That's useful for testing. It immediately drains whatever is in min.io to Postgres. Okay, so first run dbt debug to confirm the connection to Postgres is working. You should see all the green checks. If not, verify Docker in running and Postgres container is healthy. dbt runs the models into dependency order. Silver runs first, then all three gold models. The silver model takes raw JSON from bronze, extract fields from PostgreSQL, and then so on. It casts salary to numeric, duplicate, partition by job ID. We keep only the most recent version of each job. And then at the end, the gold models aggregate by cleaning the silver and shows the top paying companies. Now that we're finished running that, we are going to see if we have collected any data into the gold. First, you need to activate Docker, and once you activate Docker, the SQL is initiated, and now we can see the results. This is the number of data we have collected by running once, and next we can run this where we can look at where we can look at job title, company name, minimum salary, full location, etc., and limit them to 10. As you can see, the data can be seen right here. There's the full data setting of our goal layer, cleaned, aggregated, and ready for analysis. The final step in the architecture is visualization. The goal tables in PostgreSQL can be connected directly to Tableau Desktop using standard PostgreSQL connection. Uh, from there, you can build dashboards on top of top paying companies, jobs by location, and salary trends over time without any data export. The data is live in the database. I didn't build out the Tableau dashboard in this video due to time, but the connection and the data are both ready. The pipeline's job is done at the gold layer. And to recap what this project covers, the pipeline ingests live data from real API on a schedule. Kafka handles real-time streaming and decouples the producer from the consumer. The MinIO provides S3 compatible object storage as a staging layer. PostgreSQL in the relational warehouse. We migrated from Snowflake when the free trial expired, but it is a required change that we needed to do. The entire thing runs locally with Docker. No cloud accounts required except for free Adzono API key. Thank you for watching.